Number 12. Lituya Bay Mega Tsunami. Mega tsunamis are among Mother Nature's most intimidating and destructive displays of force. Most are caused by underwater tectonic activity and therefore occur alongside earthquakes. The most massive waves, however, are the result of a large amount of material suddenly falling into the water. The aptly named mega tsunamis can be caused by meteor strikes, volcanic activity, or landslides. The largest wave ever measured on Earth occurred in 1958 at Lituya Bay, Alaska. A 7.8 earthquake triggered a rock slide, but also the release of sediment from Lituya Glacier. The quantity of rock alone weighed roughly 90 million tons, which is 100 times heavier than the Golden Gate Bridge. The mega tsunami struck with such force that it stripped the trees and soil down to the bedrock. As it surged along the fjord, it destroyed a boat, killing 2 fishermen. The maximum impact elevation was determined to have been 1,720 feet, meaning it would have completely submerged the Empire State Building. Number 11. Eruption of Mount Vesuvius. One of the most dangerous aspects about volcanic eruptions has to do with fast-moving currents of volcanic matter and hot gas, called pyroclastic flows. Mount Vesuvius in Italy has erupted many times throughout the years, but the most infamous incident occurred in 79 AD. That's when massive pyroclastic surges completely buried the Roman cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum. The volcano released molten rock, hot ash, and pulverized pumice at a rate of 1.5 million tons per second. The thermal energy generated by the eruption was 100,000 times that of the World War II nuclear bombings. The death toll remains unknown, but the total population of both cities was over 20,000. Nowadays, the area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a major tourist attraction. That being said, Vesuvius remains one of the world's most dangerous volcanoes. That's not only due to its inclination towards violent, explosive eruptions, but also because it's the most densely populated volcanic region in the world. An estimated 600,000 people live in the danger zone. Number 10. 1556 Shanxi earthquake. According to imperial records from the 16th century, an estimated 830,000 people lost their lives in the 1556 Shanxi earthquake. To put that figure into perspective, it's almost double the population of Edinburgh, Scotland's capital city. The disaster ravaged a 520-mile wide area, and it was so powerful that it tore the earth open, creating deep crevices. City walls, temples, and houses collapsed within moments. The reason for the staggering death toll has to do with yaodongs, dwellings carved into Lo's caves. Millions lived in these artificial caves and were buried alive as the soft, silty clay collapsed on top of them. The 1556 Shanxi earthquake is the deadliest to have taken place ever since humanity started keeping records of these disasters. Number 9. Bola Cyclone. In November of 1970, the Bola cyclone devastated areas mainly in East Pakistan, present-day Bangladesh, but also in the West Bengal region of India. It's one of the deadliest natural disasters in history. The tropical cyclone reached wind speeds of up to 115 miles per hour after it made landfall. The majority of victims perished as the storm surged, peaking at a height of 33 feet, flooded the Ganges Delta and its low-lying islands. A storm surge is a tsunami-like phenomenon in which rising water pushed by powerful winds violently inundates coastal areas. The storm was so intense that it sank a 5,500-ton freighter, killing all 50 souls on board. The exact death toll of the Bola cyclone isn't known, but is estimated at anywhere from 300,000 to over 500,000. Going by the latter figure, it would have killed more people than the population of Miami, Florida. Most of the casualties were children. Many victims exhibited something that was dubbed cyclone syndrome. These were injuries consisting of severe abrasions to the limbs and chest, sustained by survivors as they were clinging to trees to cope with the storm. Number 8. Minoan eruption. It's not often that a natural disaster contributes to the disappearance of an entire civilization, but that's what happened around the year 1600 BC. A tremendous volcanic eruption devastated the island of Thera, present-day Santorini, in the Aegean Sea. The volume of ejected material was roughly 40,000, larger than that of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The eruption column reached the stratosphere and rose to about 22 miles. To put such incredible proportions into perspective, it was taller than Olympus Mons on Mars, which is the tallest mountain in our solar system. Tsunamis ravaged the northern coastline of Crete, even though the island was nearly 70 miles away. In some areas, the waves reached almost 500 feet, meaning they would have struck near the top of the Washington Monument. The Minoan settlement at Akrotiri, as well as others in the area, collapsed in the eruption. It was a critical blow for the Minoans, who were a naval power and based their economy on their ships. The crisis that ensued made them susceptible to conquest and absorption by the Mycenaeans. There are historians who believe that the fall of the Minoan civilization may have inspired Plato's story of Atlantis. Number 7. Dalaptur Saturia tornado. With a suspected death toll of at least 1,300, the Dalaptur Saturia tornado is the deadliest event of its kind. It was born in part by the meeting of cool, dry air flowing from the Himalayas and warm, moist air from the Gulf of Bengal. The jet stream picked up on April 26, 1989. Winds of up to 150 miles per hour were observed high in the atmosphere at an estimated 35,000 feet, the cruising altitude of a Boeing 747 jet. As the tornado touched down, it started moving on what would later be determined as a 50-mile-long path. Every home within 2.3 square miles of the tornado's path was destroyed, leaving about 80,000 people homeless. Countless trees were uprooted by winds that reached 260 miles per hour. Number 6. 1972 Iranian blizzard. Over the course of about a week in 1972, thousands of lives in Iran were claimed by severe winter storms and low temperatures. It's often described as the deadliest blizzard in history. Areas throughout the country were buried under several feet of snow. Southern Iran was the most affected region. As snow deposits rose to 26 feet, at least 4,000 people were buried alive. According to contemporary reports, several outlying villages such as Kumar or Kakan registered no survivors. Number 5. 2003 European heat wave. The 2003 heat wave led to the hottest summer experienced by the European continent since at least the 16th century. July and August were the hottest months, and France was the most affected country. The city of Auxerre, for example, reported temperatures above 104 Fahrenheit for 8 consecutive days. The country certainly wasn't ready to face a heat wave. It didn't usually deal with very hot summers. Consequently, many of the older homes or residential areas weren't fitted with air conditioning. Even in the hottest months, the nights were typically cool. However, in the summer of 2003, the cooling cycle was broken as the heat carried on unabated into the night. The elderly were most at risk and accounted for the majority of the casualties. A study places the total loss of life across the European continent at beyond 70,000. Number 4. Qinyang event. The 1490 Qinyang event, which occurred in the east of China's Gansu province, is one of the deadliest impact events in recorded history. It was a meteor shower likely caused by the airburst of an asteroid upon atmospheric entry. Airbursts are explosions that disintegrate relatively large asteroids or comets as they hit the thicker part of the Earth's atmosphere. The resulting debris may completely burn up in the atmosphere or impact the ground. Based on historical accounts of the Qinyang event, the stones that fell ranged from the size of goose eggs to water chestnuts. More than 10,000 people were killed as the meteor fragment struck them. Almost all the surviving residents subsequently fled the city. Number 3. 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. In 2004, a megathrust earthquake occurred off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. In terms of sheer intensity, it's the third most powerful earthquake ever measured. Its effects were catastrophic, in large part due to the massive tsunamis it generated. In terms of tectonics, the natural disaster was triggered by a rupture along the fault between the Burma Plate and India Plate. Tectonic plates continuously move across the surface of the Earth due to hot currents in the planet's mantle. As they meet at a fault line One plate will slowly move under another and melt into the mantle. Sudden transitions cause ruptures, which are expressed as earthquakes and tsunamis. In 2004, the seismic activity triggered waves more than 100 feet high. They struck coastlines in the Indian Ocean, and the total loss of life was estimated at 227,898, with victims hailing from 14 countries. Today's topic was requested by RB Fitness. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Yellow River Flood of 1887. On 2 occasions, the Yellow River in China lashed out against humanity. Interestingly enough, in both cases, people played a major role in the ensuing disasters. The first occurred in the fall of 1887. For centuries, farmers living in the region had built embankments to contain the river and its tributaries. Unfortunately, this only caused the water levels to rise. Since the rivers weren't allowed to flood, the sediments were deposited directly on the riverbed. After heavy rains in the fall of 1887, the water rose above the embankments and a massive flood ensued. It spread rapidly through the low plains of northern China, covering an area of about 50,000 square miles. Commercial spaces and agricultural settlements were turned into swamps. Many were displaced and left without the basic essentials. The highest death toll associated with the flood has been placed at 2 million.
Before we move on, official They Will Kill You merchandise is now available at theywillkillyou.com. It's out of this world.
Number 1. Yellow River Flood of 1938. A second massive flood associated with the Yellow River occurred in the summer of 1938. It's been called the largest act of environmental warfare in history. After the Second Sino-Japanese War broke out in 1937, the Imperial Japanese Army advanced rapidly towards the heart of China. They had already taken control of the country's north and were threatening Zhengzhou. A success there would have given them a way into the major city of Wuhan. The defending Chinese military decided to slow down the invading forces by using the power of the Yellow River. They opened up an embankment and the roaring waters overtook the land. Hundreds of thousands of people perished, many of them Japanese soldiers, but also Chinese civilians. The floods ravaged farmlands and made refugees out of about 4 million. The effectiveness of the strategy would be questioned by historians. It did stop the move on Zhengzhou, but Wuhan, which was the endgame, was taken by the Japanese military by October, after they'd simply attacked it from a different direction. Thanks for watching. Would you rather be on a boat during a mega tsunami or at the top of a skyscraper during a mega thrust earthquake? Let us know in the comments section below.